the Daily Purge. Yes, indeed. A little bit late today. It's still in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, in my brother's dining room here. Interesting wallpaper. Beautiful. Anyway, how many ideas have you never acted on? And I wanted to talk about this today because there's been a lot of ideas that I haven't acted on. It just didn't feel right, or it was an idea I didn't know how to get started. But as years went by, I started taking imperfect action. We talk about that in the book Unleash Your Humble Alpha. If you haven't gotten it, grab it. And what happens is the more you act on your ideas, the bigger chance you have of making one of them pop, right? So my whole life I've been having ideas. We all do, right? But how many do you actually act upon? Do you try to bring to fruition? And here's the trick. I had ideas before and I pushed hard. I pushed really hard. Some of them worked out a little bit. Some of them worked out halfway. Some of them worked out, but none of them were truly like that kind of like, wow, holy cow. Like, what the heck is how? And there's two things that I want to observe here. Is one is, as soon as I let go and said, look, I have an idea. Let me just find somebody who's been there and done that. And I'll ask them. And it did. And it worked. I was like, whoa, that was cool. All right, let's go bigger. Right? Go bigger. Be open. Receive. What's going on? Yes. Okay. Now I want to move to a different level. I want to change paradigms. I want to shift the paradigm. I want to go into a different universe, if you will. How do I do that? Like, how do I, me, Stephen, get involved in blockchain and crypto? I don't know anything about that stuff, but I have an idea. And that idea, I said, and I told to one guy, Sven. And that guy, he talked to Berwin, the CEO of ECTA. And the next thing you know, we are together on a project crushing it. So what's the idea that you have inside of you right now that you're not acting upon? What's the idea that you have inside of you right now that you're saying, man, maybe I wonder who can talk to me about this? Who can I talk to about this? And because in the end, all you need to do is find out who's been there and done that, what you want to do or what your idea is, or someone who can be in that from that space. And you just ask them, hey, I have this idea. What do you think? Now, here comes the big kicker. Some people say like, well, what if they steal my idea? Well, then you didn't act fast enough. Simple as that. Scarcity mindset will crush you every time. Competition's great. No one will ever be you. No one will do it like you. So just keep going on and driving and doing what you want to do. You might have to adapt a little bit, but you can always do what you want to do because you're unique and no one else is like you. Look, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm to the point now with Lane and Sarah and Pat and Berwin and everybody else who we're working with. I'm to the point now where I'm like, there's nothing that's impossible. There's absolutely nothing that's impossible. And it's just, it's astonishing to me how often in my life I thought, oh, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. If I knew then what I know now. And that's why I'm so adamant about being on here and talking all the time about what's going on, because what's happening, it from a classic sense is like, wow, it's astonishing. It's amazing. But it's not. That's how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to thrive. We're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to be successful. That's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, we're killing each other on the streets and division and all this kind of stuff. It's not supposed to be like that. We're letting ourselves be put there. So I'm just out there and I'm just saying, if you have an idea, push for it. If you have an idea, talk to someone who's been there and done that. If you have, hey, Adam, how you doing, brother? If you have an idea, then allow someone to hear that idea that can actually make a difference. Telling your friends and family, they'll be like, hey, cool. And I know how it is. You're probably like, well, I have an idea, but I have no idea where to start. Well, if you're watching this, then you have contact to me. And I have 50,000 contacts across the world. And in just about every industry you can imagine, and just about every country you can imagine. And if I don't have that contact, I know someone who does. Simple as that. So don't inundate me with requests. But if you have an idea that you think has credence and merit, then reach out. And I can tell you, in my opinion, if I think it does. And if I think it does, and I trust you, and I trust your word that you will follow through, I can then introduce you to someone who may be able to help you, or at least hear you out and give you a few ideas. That's huge. It's freaking huge, right? It's huge. There's a difference between, well, put it this way. The burden of proof is on your end. The burden of proof is on the person wanting to take the action. What I don't accept, and I can't stand, is when somebody asks me for help, I give them help, and then they don't react, or they don't show up to the meeting, or they don't call, or whatever. That's a freaking no-go right there. I'll tell you that right now, right? But back up a little bit here for a second. Back up, pan out, right? When I tell you you can do anything that you want to do you believe me? If you don't believe me, then we need to work on that. Because anything that you can conceive in your mind, you can do. You might say, Stephen, I can't fly. Well, I bet you can fly. There's a way that you can fly. Pat, what an amazing way to live in your two-word moniker, connection master. Powerful connector. Right? If you say, well, Stephen, I can't, walk on water. Who says you can't walk on water? I guarantee you I can let you walk on water. It might be a piece of plexiglass underneath the surface. It looks like you're walking on water, but you're still walking on water, right? It's all about, how do I define what it is that I really want? And why do I think it's impossible? And look, there's a gap in our belief system, because when someone says, I believe, that's an active, conscious decision. And that means there's still room for doubt. So you don't actually believe fully. Belief is not a full thing. Belief is this. I call it to have energy. If you want to go, I've said this already, but it's very powerful. If you want to go check the mail, what do? You go check the mail. You don't make a plan. You don't hope you can do it. You don't believe you can do it. You just freaking do it, right? You just freaking go and get the mail. From now on, every time you want to do something, just pretend you're going to check the mail. Use that energy and make it happen that way. Life will be much easier for you, I promise. Forget about the outcome. Forget about the how. Become certain in your ability to navigate this world. Simple as that. It really is. I had a went to see my mother today, and then I went and saw some old friends from high school. Two old friends from high school as well, and it was glorious. And they were talking to me, wow, you've really done this and you've done that. One of them did, and it's I don't want to say it's embarrassing, but it's like I didn't do anything special. All I did was never think that I couldn't. See what I'm saying? Like, I never thought that I couldn't, no matter what it was. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life where I said, man, I can't do that. I might say, I don't know how to do that. Hey, Olga, how you doing? I might say, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know how to do this, but I've never in my adult years ever thought I can't do it or it's not possible. Like, it's never even crossed my mind. And so I'm fortunate to have been in a situation, raised or whatever, where I never had. Well, you know what it was? I think because when I was in high school, I was talking to her today about this, and I said I hated myself in high school. I hated everything about myself in high school. I was a loser. I hated my home life. I hated everything. And when I went in the Army, they were cutting my hair off, shaving my head off in boot camp. And I said, this is the new me. Never again. Never again, that person. And I think since then, and then of course the obstacle course story. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Once you hear that story, you understand that from that point on, I never had doubt that I couldn't do anything that I wanted to do. Simple as that. And that's what I want for you, man. I mean, seriously, every single one of you who watch this, you know me, I know you, right? And it's important to me that in my life enterprise, that I'm creating radiant value like this to elevate other people to a higher frequency. That's my life mission. I'm the powerful connector, my two-word moniker. My life mission is creating radiant value to elevate others to a higher frequency. And that's what I'm doing with these videos. That's why I talk to these videos. That's why I do I don't get paid for this. I don't make any money from this. This is episode 870 something or other too, I think, right? 872 of these for you, for nothing else. Because I really want you to succeed. I want you to feel what I feel when we're in a point like this, where we're just, almost wanting to say it's unbelievable, but because this is the way it's supposed to be, it's completely believable. All right. Well, I hope that gave you some food for thought, because it does for me still to this day. There's a saying: the more you learn, the less you know, right? And it's true, because if you don't know anything about quantum physics, and then you learn a little bit about quantum physics, then you don't know a whole bunch about quantum physics that you didn't even know you didn't know before, right? So that's sort of where that comes from, and that's astonishing. That's astonishing to me. So me, I'm a sponge. I love it. I love learning. I love new things. as long as it's aligned with the impact that I want to have in the world around me, to create that radiant value, to elevate others to a higher frequency. You're probably thinking, like, when did Steve get esoteric? I've always been esoteric. I've always been esoteric. Check the mail. Got it. Adam, no joke. No joke. Next time you have a challenge and you're wondering if you can do it, or you're trying to put a plan together, just go check the mail. You don't have to meditate on it. You don't have to make a big plan or strategy session, have a meeting to have a meeting. Just go check the freaking mail. Pretty powerful. Sounds simple, sounds goofy, but when you internalize it, it's very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good today. What do you think? All right, everybody. Have a fantastic one. And remember, it's all about quality of life. We'll see you on Monday from Colorado. Yes, indeed, from Colorado. All right. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.